See, the problem is, it is just a black version of what they launched last year. There's literally nothing else. It's still got the great bezel action that it has. It's still got the horrible rivet bracelet, but beyond that, I don't know what else we're gonna say. I think we just need some inspiration. I think we need some coffee.
Whenever I do a detailed video like this, I'm always wanting a hook. I want a story, whether it's a piece of history or there's a design feature that I can focus on. And with this watch, I'm struggling to get that because it's just another black bezel, black dialed dive watch, and there's a million of those. This watch isn't even new, it's just a color change. So I don't know what the angle is, I don't know what the hook is. This is the third version of the Tudor Black Bay. The first one was launched in 2012. Had an ETA movement, it had the little rose logo, which I really liked, and a smiley face at the bottom of the dial. In 2016, they launched version 2. That had an in-house movement, slightly thicker case, and then it had the shield logo and straight text at the bottom. And this third version, which was launched last year, 2023, it has still the same in-house movement, but it's now META certified. The case has been slimmed down ever so slightly. The whole thing has just been refined, and I'm all for that. A lot of people criticize watch brands when they just do a color change, which technically this is. But I kind of feel like if you have to completely launch a new design within the same family of a watch, then surely it means that that design, that original idea, isn't working. When I saw this watch at Watches and Wonders, the biggest thing that stood out to me was what was missing from it. It doesn't have the vintage touches like the gilt or the red triangle. It no longer feels like a vintage inspired watch, which on one hand is a good thing, but on another hand, those vintage touches are an injection of character to the watch. So I feel like some of the character is missing. It's now become quite a cold, clinical watch, which could be just a polite way of saying it's boring, but that's not really a criticism. The most popular watches are the boring versions of those watches. If you think about the Speedmaster, the most popular version of the Speedmaster is the plain black and steel version. The most popular Submariner will be the black one. I'm sure the most popular Seamaster is the black one. My favorite watch is the Rolex Explorer. It doesn't get more boring than that. And so a watch being boring isn't a negative point in my eyes. And I think that's why my gut feeling is this will be a massive watch for Tudor. It just makes it difficult for me to make content around it because there's nothing to say unless the content is just what's missing. Tudor aren't paying for this, so we should probably put some straps on this and mention the shop. So this is the grey 70-30 strap that we have on here. It's 70% man-made fibres, which gives it its strength, and then it's 30% natural cotton, which gives it this beautiful softness. You could say I'm being biased, but I do honestly think this just looks better on its strap. You can get this exact strap from barkandjack.com. Tudor say that this is 41mm wide, and that's not always the case. The watch brands often say this watch is X size, kind of from, not necessarily a marketing point of view, but kind of a product placement point of view, as in this product is for X. And this case isn't 41mm wide, it's actually 40mm wide. The bezel itself is 40.5mm, so overhangs ever so slightly, but that's what allows you to get the grip on the edge of the bezel. I don't know how accurate these things are, but essentially the watch itself is 40mm. And maybe this is a good point to mention that the knurling on the bezel is ever so slightly different on this version versus version 2. The bracelet is incredible. I think Tudor has some of the best bracelets. And no, this isn't an advert. I feel like that's an important thing to point out. So the bracelet starts at 21mm and then tapers down to 17mm, but the clasp itself is 18 millimeters. This has a T-fit clasp, which means it's got an extension system in the clasp itself. And this is honestly one of the best bracelet extension systems. I love it. Good looking clasp as well. The case is 13.6 millimeters thick. We do have a domed sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating on it, so that obviously adds quite a bit of height. But that's what allows Tudor to make the case itself ever so slightly slimmer, is that because it's got a domed sapphire crystal, it means that the movement, the dial and the handset can be mounted slightly higher, shaving off a little bit of the depth of the case on the back side of it. Got a screw down crown. Note there aren't any crown guards, but it's quite a hefty crown. The crown is ever so slightly larger. It's mounted closer to the case. This is the same as the one that was launched last year. Previously, on the first generation of the Black Bay and the second generation of the Black Bay, it had a little ring around the crown where the crown met the case. That's gone. And so the crown is slightly closer to the case. And the screw down crown allows the watch to have 200 meters of water resistance. The movement is the MT5602-U. And it's important to note, this is a METAS certified movement. All the other previous Black Bays were COSC certified. COSC tests the accuracy of a movement, whereas METAS tests the durability of the movement. And so they put it through various tests, be it magnetism, shock, or temperature changes, and the movement has to perform within an accuracy banding after all of those tests. I've asked Tudor, does that mean this movement, despite the fact it's got the same model number as the previous Black Bays, does that mean this movement's different? And it isn't. The movement is exactly the same. It's just been tested by METAS. So if the movement in this watch is exactly the same as the movement in the previous version, if you've got a Generation 2 Black Bay, that could be METAS, or rather it could pass the tests that are set by METAS. But then not all movements that go to METAS will pass the certification. So this is saying, no, this movement is anti-magnetic. This movement doesn't get interrupted by temperature changes. So it is worth something. The point that brands, I feel, use around METAS certification is it means that this watch X, whatever METAS certified watch it is, it could be strapped to the wrist of a diver, or it could be strapped to the wrist of a mountaineer, an explorer, someone who's going to do something with the watch. The reality is it just means that this watch can handle life. It doesn't need to be babied. It doesn't matter if I put my watch near a big speaker or a magnet that's on the back of my phone. When I wash my hands or bathe my kid or, I don't know, go fishing, it just means, legitimately, it's the perfect everyday watch. Not the perfect. That's probably too strong. This is an ideal thing that you build your collection around, or an ideal first watch, an ideal daily watch. I don't really believe in the whole one watch collection thing, but if there was a one watch collection, doesn't really make sense. I feel like this could be it. So maybe that's the angle, maybe that's what we talk about. Let's go to the studio.
Here we go. This is a week on wrist with the new Tudor Black Bay.